But he looks like a player that he ain't going to get pushed around.
He ain't, no.
And he'll give like more than he gets, and
I
think
like it. A bit of nastiness.
Yeah, that's that I'm sort of getting at. Really,
Yeah.
we want that edge, don't we?
Yeah.
Edge
Bit of
to
bite, bit of nastiness. So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And there's no doubt this summer, myself and Dad have been extremely busy on this podcast, reporting all the transfers, everything around the club, around the stadium. It really has been a busy and incredible summer. And I think most Blues fans will agree this has got to be one of the best transfer summers on record. It really has been impressive. And we've just completed our 14th transfer of the summer with Lyndon Dykes. Now, Dad, got a question immediately off the bat. You've been talking for some time about a younger Yuki, more physical striker. Does Lyndon Dykes fit the bill?
Absolutely. I'm chuffed to bits with this signing. I know that there's some mixed views on social media, as there always is with every player. I'm really pleased with him. I said we needed this. Obviously, we've got Alfie May, Super Alfie May, who buzzes around. Obviously, he's got the energy. He's a poacher. He scores that, and he's that type and style of player. Absolutely love Alfie May. But what we have been lacking up front is that physical presence. And now we've got it in him. He looks like. I just like the look of him. If I'm like a centre half or a defender, I see Lyndon Dykes running at me. He just looks like he's.
Have you seen the size of his neck?
I know
He's just an absolute tank.
Yeah. I think he's good. He's 6'2". Well, just shy of 6'2". So that's a decent size for it as well. He's experienced as well, and is he 28? Let me just have a quick.
He is,
28.
I think he is.
28 years old. So. As a 28-year-old, you should be actually in the prime of your career. I would suspect. Obviously, we're going to talk about his stats in a moment. But yeah, to answer your question, personally, I think he is exactly what we need up front. Exactly what we're lacking.
He's a more mobile and aggressive target man, isn't he? And I love Yuki. We all love Yuki as Birmingham City supporters. But even when he comes off on the bench for these last 10 minutes, he just hasn't got much in the tank or the legs, has he? Whereas, Lyndon Dykes is going to provide more energy, more aggression.
Yeah.
He's got the similar kind of playing style to Yuki. So he's really going to offer us something different. And as you say, Alfie May buzzing around energy. I love Alfie May as well. But this is going to make us a little less predictable. It's going to give us another option in games. It's going to,
It gives the opposition something more to think about, doesn't
exactly.
it?
And also, physical players allow more space to the team around them. Often, it's that effect of when you have a physical striker, they do generally create more space in the team around them. And I think this is a great signing. It's all about context. We're a League One team. Millwall were interested in Lyndon Dykes, Scottish international. I think for League One, context about where we are, I think he's a great signing.
He's a target man as well. Because we always said with Yuki, and I think the only thing about having a target man is that the other opposition will know that they're a target man. But the thing is, when we had Yuki a few seasons ago, if you knocked the ball up high to Yuki, he'd win virtually every single one, and that would have knock-ons to other players. We haven't had that for a while now. This could be I don't know how they'll fit into the team. Maybe we'll have a little chat about that in a sec. But I can imagine a really good partnership between Lyndon Dykes and Alfie May, because they're like Kevin Phillips and Niall Quinn. Do you remember those from years ago? In terms of the taller and the smaller.
Chris Sutton, Alan Shearer.
Yeah, the type of you got one tall and one not so tall, and potentially there could be something in that. But obviously, Chris Davies will have the way in which he wants the team to play. I'd love to see them both in the team, but obviously with the way and the amount of players we've got, it's how Chris Davies brings Lyndon Dykes into the team now.
I think Chris Davies will see them as different options. Me personally, I mean, I'm not discrediting your point, Dad. I think it would be interesting to see them both together, but I think we're going to see one or the other, and I think that's not a bad thing because they both offer us something different. Like I just said, some defences can't handle pace, some defences can't handle that level of physicality, and the fact we have a different kind of outlet now, especially in League One, very physical league, I think he fits that bill really nicely. And and for me, it's a bit like the Ben Davies thing. If you go onto social media and read about Lyndon Dykes, it's kind of mixed opinion, but I can't wait to see him in a blue shirt. And again, I'm going to hold out judgment until he starts playing. I'm going to be optimistic, starts scoring goals for Blues.
Yeah, I think so as well. And like you said, he was wanted by Championship teams as well. So and we did get him as well. Just little bit on him. I won't go into his early history because I don't know if you know, but he started his very early career in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Didn't know that.
I think that's where he was born. I think he was born in Australia, and a lot of his early career was in Australia. Played for some Australian teams, and then he really started to get into prominence when he moved to Queen of the South in Scotland. And the big move to him was Livingston, who were at the time in the top division in Scotland, scored lots of goals for Livingston, and he was on loan initially at Livingston. They bought him, and he scored loads of goals, and that's when QPR picked him up. He's been at QPR 4 years. That surprised me when I found that out. Didn't realise he'd been there that long.
Long time.
And the fee that's muted is about 1.5 million, round about that we've paid for him on a 3-year contract. And for a 28-year-old, I don't think that's a bad deal for us. Because 28, 3 years going to take him to 31. Like I said, we should get the best years out of him.
Yeah.
I think he has been prone to injuries in the past, but he has got lots of experience. Listen to this: Queens Park Rangers, he played 165 games for in total, scored 37 goals and 12 assists. That's okay. It's not brilliant for a striker, but it's not disastrous at all.
Yeah.
Queen of the South, he played 136 games. This is in Scotland. Scored 23 goals and 34 assists. For Livingston, 36 games, 14 goals and 10 assists. So that has given him experience in the Championship. He's played 156 games in the Championship, scoring 35 Championship goals, 11 assists, 100 goals in the Scottish Championship. That would have been with Queen of the South. Scottish Premiership, 28 games, League Cup, 21 games. But he's another player that's got loads and loads of experience and has scored goals everywhere he's been. Okay, maybe he could do with a few more goals. He might get that now because if he gets a team like us that can provide him with lots of service, he seems to have that physical ability to get into the right places and score goals.
Yeah.
I can't remember, which game in particular when it was, but I remember him scoring against us. I just remember thinking, he looks like a decent player, he does. So we've got him now, and I think, like I say, for me, he's going to give us that something we haven't currently got up from, which I think we've been lacking. Imagine we hadn't got him. Just imagine the transfer window closes, and all we've got is Alfie May up front.
Exactly.
As good as he is, but if he gets injured or suspended, what do we do then?
Yeah.
I know it's not just about the strikers, but this guy gives us a different option.
Alfie May could end up getting suspended as well. Have you seen the way he goes in? His challenges are such a striker's typical challenge. From behind, late, goes in, all guns blazing because he's lost the ball. So I think Alfie May might pick up a few yellow cards this season, which means he will inevitably face a suspension. But I think this is a good signing. Again, context, League One team, lots of Championship experience, and
Scottish international. You mentioned he's played 31 caps for Scotland, scored 9 goals.
Scott, exactly. That can't be discredited. Not a bad player at all. And I think League One, he's got that level of experience in the Championship. When you translate that down to a League One team who's going to get him good service and good delivery. I mean, we talk about end product, Dad, don't we? So hopefully if we can get a bit more execution in the final third, a few more crosses into the box, he could end up scoring an absolute load of goals, couldn't he, with his physicality?
I think so, yeah. I think if you can give him good supply, and obviously we are set up to do that.
Yeah.
I think that could get a load of goals. And he hasn't been a bit part player, really. So if you look at, again, I've gone back to, I think he scored, there's only been 3 Championship games so far this season. I think he scored against Sheffield United for QPR this season.
Yeah.
But obviously, most of what I look back at the early parts is what happened last season. So he played a lot of games for Queens Park Rangers. In the vast majority of them, he played the full 90 minutes as well. So there's a few games where he's had like 21 minutes, but most of them are 90, 87. So he was a key player. I think maybe towards the end of the season, he was being used less by Queens Park Rangers. But then at the last 8 games, he was back as a first choice for them as well. But he played a lot of minutes last season for Queens Park Rangers. So he's not like we haven't just picked up like a player that is just a bit part player for Queens Park Rangers. And, a lot of the Queens Park Rangers fans, are sad to see him go from what I've seen on social media. You always get the same now, don't you, on social media? You get the ones, I'll drive him there myself. And, but then you get the other ones, genuinely say, thanks for all your hard work and all your effort. And, we're going to miss you and good luck.
I saw all those comments, couldn't hit a barn door, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. I was like, come on, can you not just let a player leave without trying to...
Well, they obviously haven't read our stats, have they?
But another key thing for me, which will make him really fit into our team and Chris Davies' new style of football, is his work rate. And again, a lot of QPR fans have commented. I've possibly read a bit more of a mixed bag than you, Dad. I've seen a lot of positives and I've seen some various, as you say, some negatives here and there. But the one thing which is a common theme from the comments I read is work rate. He will run all for the full 90 minutes. He will work hard. We've seen Alfie May do that. We've seen all the players now with Chris Davies' team running and working hard. And, down the Blues, Dad, traditionally, we love a hard-working player, don't we? So if he runs his socks off for 90 minutes, he'll win over the fans anyway.
You want to be the best player, but you put the effort in and get the work
you fight
right.
for the badge.
Yeah, exactly. Then the Blues fans will absolutely love him as well.
Absolutely. So I've just got, again, a few key strengths and as always, when we do these players, Dad, you love doing a heat map. I love doing a few strengths and weaknesses. So strengths are strength, aggression, work rate, aerial battles, shot power, heading accuracy, and penalties. So pretty good variety.
We need them up front.
Yeah, exactly. And then weaknesses are sprinting, speed. He's not that kind of striker. Ball control, vision, and reactions. So to me, they're the perfect strengths and weaknesses for the kind of player that he is.
Yeah.
And some of those can be worked on. Some of those can be improved. But overall, when you think about us being in League One, the experience he has, I think this is a great signing.
It is a great sign as well. What's that you said? Heat map, right? Yeah. So
someone commented the other day, by the way, Dad, saying Gary loves a heat map.
I do,
and I said I'm going to get next season's shirt with heat map printed on the back.
I think when you're researching players, the heat maps are great because what they do is they show you the average position of the player or where they are on the pitch predominantly. And Lyndon Dykes, as a forward, as you can imagine, most of that the sort of the darker yellows and oranges and reds are up front. He has, from the heat map I'm looking at now on the screen here, he has got a very slight favour to the right-hand side, but actually he's all over. And the good thing as well, it's not just at forward. So if you look at the heat map, it's completely covered on the opposition half, but he also comes back into midfield as well. Mm-hmm. So he comes deep as well. So I think we've got a player, like you mentioned, the work rate, a little bit Alfie May. Alfie May will come deep to get the ball. He's the same type of player.
Yeah.
So that's going to help. So they're going to help the midfield. What we don't want is forwards that just basically do their bit up front and don't come back. We've had enough of those, haven't we?
And Alfie May has set such a high bar.
Yeah.
He's always endlessly running the line. Stansfield set it last season. Alfie Mays came in and done it.
Yeah.
So Lyndon Dykes, the bar is high. If you're watching, the bar is high for you and your work rate and what's expected this season.
I think he could be the perfect complement to what we need up front. I think he'll work well with Alfie May if they're both on the pitch at the same time. And I hope they are. I think Chris Davies can find room in the squad to accommodate both of them if needed, particularly if we're chasing games and stuff like that. But to me, I think he's another real good addition and really another championship level player that we've added in League One, only making our team stronger. So for me, I know that he's going to get his critics. People will criticise him, but then you could do that with every single player we sign. You can always find something that maybe they're not best at.
And again, you might have read some stuff on social media. You might have seen some clips on YouTube, whatever it is that's possibly painted Lyndon Dykes in a negative light. Let's not judge him until he puts the blue shirt on and actually puts a performance in for this team, because Chris Davies is a new manager. We've got a new playing philosophy. We're going at teams now. We're holding on to the ball. We are eventually, when we click, going to start creating a lot of chances for our strikers, Alfie May, Lyndon Dykes. So let's hold our reservations until we see him down St.Andrews and in the Blues kit.
The final point for me, and the big plus for me is his physicality. I've been banging on about this, haven't we? That our team's a little bit small, and we bought this physical. But he looks like a player that he ain't going to get pushed around.
No.
And he'll give like more than he gets, and I
like
think
it. A bit of nastiness.
That's what I'm sort of getting at. Really, we want that edge, don't we? Edge,
bit of bite, bit of nastiness, man.
So I think that's really important for our team as well, and that might inspire some of the other players as well around him as well. Who maybe need to step up a little bit in terms of not getting pushed around so much and stuff like that.
Because a big challenge can raise the crowd just as much as a goal. We've seen it before, haven't we? When a big challenge goes in and, the game's a bit flat, that's all it takes to rally the team and the players up. And obviously, we're not going to get that massively as a striker. But even if he's like giving it in the back and battling and fighting, the Blues fans will give him a roar and get behind him, won't they?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I'm really pleased with this signing. I think it's exactly what we needed. It's filled in a massive gap for me that I felt that we needed. The Blues fans have been saying for weeks that we need another striker. We now have one, and I think it's a good one. I think it's a perfect style and type of player for what we need, and I think he's going to make a massive difference for us in the league.
No, I couldn't agree more, Dad. But as always, Blues fans, we'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Lyndon Dykes? Are you excited by the transfer? Do you think he offers something different, like me and Dad spoke about, that younger Yuki and that physicality? We think he's going to be a great addition to the team. And if you like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to check us out on our social media channels. We have a X page, an Instagram page, and we're also on Spotify. And you'll see those handles appearing on the screen right now. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any future content all about Birmingham City. And myself and Dad will see you on the next video.